People aren't buying your ebook because you're not selling it at the right price. That's not true. The truth is, people aren't buying your ebook because you're not using the right words in the title. I've written ebooks and print books that have made me thousands of dollars, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 words that will have your ebook selling like turkeys at Thanksgiving. "99% of entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs make this mistake when it comes to writing their ebook. They start writing without a title. Think of it this way. If you were let's say you were in Florida and you wanted to drive to Montana. Would you just hop in your car and start driving? Probably not. You'd probably put an address into your GPS, get the directions, and take the drive. The thing with that is, before you do that, how long do you want it to take to get to Montana? Do you want to take the scenic route? Do you want to take the route that goes through major cities? Do you want to take a more rural route where you spend a lot of time on country roads or state highways? How long do you want it to take to get there? Do you want to take a week, 2 weeks? Do you want to get there in as quickly as possible? So those are some things you have to think about when it comes to getting from one place to another. Most people don't think about that when they're writing their ebook. Most entrepreneurs don't think about that when they're writing their ebook. They just sit down and they just start writing. And what happens is you end up with something that doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't answer the questions that need to be answered. And you're not giving your reader, your buyer, what they want because you didn't have a direction. You didn't have a purpose for your writing. You just started writing. And you also have to think about it this way. When you were writing for a teacher or a college professor. You were writing, the title really didn't matter because they weren't interested in a title. When you're writing an ebook, your title has to inform your reader, your buyer. When you were in school and when you were writing, you were just basically giving a paper to a college professor or a teacher who was really grading it on your writing, not on the title. So the title could be anything. It could have been something like how to improve yourself or how to play tennis better or how to win at chess. It could have been a number of things, but it wasn't really clear about what you were writing because you were not taught to write that way. You were taught basically to write to get graded on your writing and writing structure. And that's not what ebooks are about. Ebooks are about informing people and giving your reader, your buyer, exactly what they want, the solution to their problem. And when you can do that, you'll have something that's clear and that does not cause confusion, because when people are confused about buying something, when they're not sure about buying something, or they're not sure if the thing that they're buying can fix their problem, then they typically won't buy it. They'll go somewhere else and look for something that's clearly able to do what it is they want to do. And here's the solution to the problem, or this is what I came up with. My solution to this problem is to create what I call a focus title. But the next question I typically get is, but Eric, how do I know I have a good focus title? You'll have a good focus title when it accomplishes these 4 goals. You want your focus title to make your potential buyer have a clear buying decision of a yes or a no. You want it to be something where they read the title they read that focus title, or they read the title of your ebook and it tells them, yes, that's the book I want. Or no, that's not the book for me. A clear yes or a clear no. The second goal that you want it to accomplish is you want your ebook, the title, the focus title, to define your audience. You want your reader or your potential buyer to read the title and clearly see that they're the audience of that book that your ebook is trying to reach. The next goal, or the third goal, is you want the title to deliver, to tell your reader, your buyer, that the outcome they desire, the problem they want solved, your ebook can solve that problem. It's stated in the title of your ebook that it can solve the problem of your reader or your potential buyer. And the fourth goal, the final goal, is you want that ebook title to either give your reader, your buyer, a positive outcome, or you want to share with them how to avoid a negative outcome. Either you're giving them a positive outcome or you're telling them how to avoid a negative outcome. I've created hundreds of winning ebook titles by using what I call the WWW method. I've used this method to create print books and ebooks that have made me thousands of dollars. So if you're ready to write a six-figure ebook with stuff you already know like the back of your hand, click on the link in the description below. And before you know it, you'll have huge numbers, good news, and 5-star reviews like what you see on your screen right now. Now that you know the importance of having a focused title and the 4 goals that that title needs to accomplish, let's look at how to put that title, that focused title together using the WWW method. The who, the what, and the why. The who is for your audience. That could be clearly stated or it could be implied, either one. The what are you offering your reader or your buyer? They need to know what they're going to get when they read the title of your ebook. And the why is the outcome. Once again, you want it to be either a positive outcome or you want it to be a negative outcome, and you're sharing with them how to avoid that negative outcome. So let's look at 2 book titles. Let's put the WWW method into, let's look at how to use that in a practical sense. So for example, let's say you live in New York and you love California, but it's kind of expensive to get to New York from New York to California. So you love it so much, you're trying to figure out a way to get there as often as you can. So you go look on the internet or you start going to bookstores and you come across a couple of books. One of the books that you come across, the title is How to Get to the West Coast. Now, this book is, the title kind of speaks to you because you do want to go to the West Coast, but where on the West Coast? Do you want to go to Washington? Do you want to go to Oregon? Do you want to go to somewhere in Mexico because it's on the West Coast? So the title kind of tells you that it's for you, but there's no what, and there's not a lot of why. There is no why to the title, and there's only a little bit of what. So if you're reading that title, it's actually giving you more questions than answering your questions, because it's not telling you where on the West Coast you're going. It's creating a lot more confusion than clarity. It's creating a lot more questions than answers. And as I said earlier, anytime you create questions in the mind of your buyer or of your reader, they tend to be confused and unsure. And people, when they're unsure and they're confused, they typically don't make a buying decision. Now let's look at a second book title. The second book title is 3 Ways to Fly to California Nonstop for Less than $200. Now, that title speaks to the who, the what, and the why. The who is for someone who wants to go to California. The what is 3 ways to get to California. The 3 ways to fly to California. And the why, the positive outcome. You're doing it for less than $200. So when you read that title, it creates an immediate decision of, yes, that's the book for me. It's telling me I'm going to California. It's giving me 3 ways to fly there nonstop and for less than $200. That's an instant buying decision for you as the reader, because you're wanting to go to California as often as you can. It speaks to you immediately. And this is what you want. You want some clarity in your ebook title, because when people are clear about something, when they can read that title and it tells them exactly the outcome they desire, it's not about cost at that point. It's telling them this is what you want. This is the solution that your ebook is going to provide for them. And at that point, people don't make decisions based on price when it's something that they desire or when it's a solution to a problem that they're having. Cost is typically not the issue at that point. They're getting what they want, and their buying decision will be a yes. So if you use the WWW method, the who, the what, and the why, you'll have an ebook that will be selling like turkeys at Thanksgiving. And if you're ready to write a 6-figure ebook with stuff you already know, click on the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.